We covered Sweden's bizarre microchip implanting story and their plan, which would have everyday citizens opting to have microchips implanted right into their bodies, right into their hands, the RFID or near field communications chips, or NFC, basically the size of a grain of rice. And thousands of Swedes took the plunge. And since this story first published, many more thousands have taken the plunge. The idea is that the chips would speed up your user's daily life, make their lives more convenient, access their homes, office, gyms, just swipe it right on your door or keypad and you're right in there. Here is one of the individuals lining up to get one of the chip implants and just being able to get it poked right in the hands. Now, when the program started, the demand was off the charts. There were waiting lists. Companies could insert these things. They couldn't insert these things fast enough. And then shortly after it won high praise from the World Economic Forum.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to track people and they let you.
Exactly.
That's on them.
So World Economic Forum's like, hey, this is great. And if you read the article, the World Economic Forum piece on this, they even point out that's no big deal. It's just like a simple, like a slight sting in when you get it. No big deal.
Imagine telling our youngest who hates shots,
yeah,
that you're just going to get this chip forever. It's only going to hurt for a little bit.
And it will be able to track everything that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flash forward to 2020.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor. It's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. And those in the gospel, bride, lifting up the standard. Every how Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. You Israelites out there, you got a lot of explaining to do, man. This is a show redacted. It says a microchip in your hand sweetens digital microchip experiment 10 years later. Look, man, this is if you can't see that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, then you lost, or you sold out, or you just don't care about the flock. Scriptures go into give me 1 second. Salakia. Scriptures goes into dumb dogs that don't bark. The whole purpose of a dog, at least one of the main purposes, is to bark, to alert the owners that danger or something that don't belong there is near. So oftentimes a dog, you walk past the yard, the dog will bark because it's unfamiliar with you. And that's what Great Millstone is. We're barking because they're getting ready to play an unfamiliar tune. It's not conducive for our salvation. It says we do not consent to the mark of the beast. Hey, people know what it is, but you know what's so weird? All these people that's saying that they don't consent to it, you're going to consent to it because they're going to make you. All right? Because they're going to force you at gunpoint. And a lot of you people, they're just going to shut off your, they're going to shut down your bank accounts. Because remember, Trump was speaking that people with digital wallets and stuff like that, like they were just going to start taking people's bank accounts if they didn't comply. So if you got 3 months supply of rent in there and like money for like 2 months supply of groceries, you got like $20,000 in your bank account and shit is going up. You're going to think twice. Well, damn, am I going to go homeless or am I going to take this digital chip? Because they're going to advertise it as being something noble. Yeah, take the chip. Everybody's doing it. It's cool. This is just the way it is now. And they're going to find a way on how to get you people to comply because they're going to take your possessions from you. Okay, they're going to gradually force you out of this system, meaning you ain't going to be able to work. A lot of people are going to go homeless. A lot of people are going to have to walk away from jobs. Healthcare, you got a lot of sickly children, a lot of sickly elderly. They're going to use this thing and they're going to play on people's livelihoods, man. And this is why a lot of people are going to consent, especially when the food is involved, man. So it says digital IDs is an extremely bad idea. Refuse it, don't do it. It says grow, disconnect from the grid. Solar sold now, controlled by apps, won't work. If you are able to scrap your phone, they control the research deeply. People are waking up to the fact what Esau wants to do. It's planning on giving everyone a microchip. It will come to that. Refuse it. Yep, upon birth, for child's well-being, parents in the future won't know any different. Up to us to stop it. And a lot of people that refuse the chip, they're just going to throw in concentration camps and they're going to put you on a firing squad, incinerators, And ultimately, those of us that resisted, there will be guillotines. You'll have to get your head chopped off, because it's going to be basically a capital punishment to refuse this man's mark, which proves that it's diabolical. Because when does Esau ever penalize people for getting off the grid? Which he will, with homeless people. But if you want to build a homestead in a forest, or you want to go off the grid, Esau, he don't really come after people like that. But to not take the microchip, how you going to force somebody to not comply, or to comply with your mandates? Which proves that this is a bigger agenda at hand. And you got Israelites out there that's not blowing a whistle. Okay? So let's go here. Dumb dogs. Because the Lord said that dumb dogs. Isaiah 56:10. And it reads, it says, his watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Yeah, you're not warning people. You're just taking bribes and you're turning a blind eye. It says, yeah, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. They are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter. So a lot of jakes took the bag to stay quiet, to not speak on this thing because they 501c3 charters. And it says, come ye, and say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink. And tomorrow shall be as this day, and much more abundant. So you got Israelites with that, I want to stay here longevity mindset here in America, and it's going to be a detriment to them. That's why the scriptures call you Jake's bloody city, man. It's the book of Ezekiel 22. And I'm going to start at verses. The Lord said he's going to melt a lot of you Jakes, man. Let's start at verses 20. It says, matter of fact, let's start at 19. It says, therefore thus says the Lord Yahweh, because ye are all become dross. Behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin, into the midst of the furnace, to blow fire upon it, to melt it. So I will gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there, and I will melt you. And this is going to be the judgment for those of you that take the chip, and the judgment of you that don't teach on the chip, that teaches your congregation that it's okay to get the chip. Because this thing is just, we're like a broken record. If you can't see it, then you ain't going to see it. It says, and yeah, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof, as silver is melted in the midst of the furnace. So shall ye be melted in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I, Yahweh, have poured out my fury upon you, man. Okay? So the Lord is not playing games with you, Jakes, man. He said that you have not gone into the gaps to warn Jake in a time of war. And we in a time now. And it says here, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, son of man, say thou unto her, thou art the land that is not cleansed nor rained upon in the day of indignation. And there is a conspiracy of our prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls, with their lies and slander and with their false doctrines. They have taken their treasures and precious things, and they have made her many widows in the midst thereof, and her priests have violated my law, because taking a chip is a violation of the law, and have profaned my holy things. It says they have put no difference between the holy and profane, neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and they have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profane among them, man. So the Lord is just fed up with you Jakes. And her princes in the midst thereof are like ravening wolves, ravening the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get this honest gain. And our prophets have daubed them with untempted mortar, seen vanity and divining lines unto them, saying, thus says the Lord. So the Lord is not, he's pissed. Okay. It says here, says the Lord Yahweh, when the Lord have not spoken, and the people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery, and have vexed the poor and needy, yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully, and I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge, which is protection, and stand in the gaps, which is the highways and byways, before me, or before the land, that I should not destroy it, but I have found none. Therefore have I poured out my indignation upon them, and I have consumed them with the fire of my wrath. Their own way have I recompensed upon their heads, says the Lord Yahweh. So the Lord is pissed off with you men, man, all right, that call yourselves Israelites and leaders and elders of these different congregations, because clearly you got these people that know this is the mark of the beast. And they're speaking on it, but Israel, you're not prophesying this. Only Great Millstone and our affiliates, man. So anyway, here we go.
26, and now these micro and where are things at with this program? We wanted to check in on this program, see how it's being floated for digital IDs, digital currency, how it's competing with the incredibly popular banked ID system, ID system in Sweden. It's very, very popular. It's almost at 100% usage, the bank ID system in Sweden, 100%, up to 8.7 million users now across the country. It's basically their dominant digital ID system. So is there a marriage between like implanting yourself with these chips and using the country's digital ID system? Forget cash, forget everything. It's all digital now, and all they want to do is track you. Well, today we're thrilled to have Maria Z joining us today to talk all about this from Z Media, and who's been watching, of course. She has very keen insights into watching how all of this tracking across these countries around Europe, through Australia.
Now these top world leaders and governments, they all behind it. They all want the same thing. The Russians, the Chinese, the Koreans, the Iranians, the Western hegemonies, they all are behind this shit, man. That's why they down there in Iran, because they're getting ready to cripple this economy so they can bring in a digital infrastructure. In return, they're going to shoot missiles on this goddamn place.
The United States are unfolding and watching this legislation that's been moving. Great to see you, Maria. Welcome back to the show.
Great. You both again. Thank you so much for inviting me. These particular chips, I will say from the outset, I'm not that worried about the microchips, and I'll explain why. The uptake, yes, there were a few thousand people that rushed to do it in the beginning, but I think that pretty much after 2018, that slowed down a lot. There was the initial rush of, a few thousand that said, yeah, this is great, and we're probably paid to do it. But it's not something that's widely popular at this stage. What I'm more concerned about, truthfully, is an admission from MIT that happened in November of 2025. So a publication from MIT News actually reads, quote, "New therapeutic brain implants could defy the need for surgery." Now, I'll read you a couple of quotes from this article. It is extremely alarming. MIT researchers developed microscopic wireless bioelectronics that could travel through the body's circulatory system and autonomously self-implant in a target region of the brain where they could provide...
Wow, that's crazy. See, that's what John saw on the island of Patmos, man. He saw that. He saw people getting microchipped. And a lot of these chips, people going to be getting chipped up in these detention centers, these concentration camps.
quote-unquote focused treatment, because it's about treating Alzheimer's and things of this nature, right? Not covert operations, everyone. In a study on mice, the researchers show that after injection, these minuscule implants can identify and travel to a specific brain region without the need for human guidance. Once there, they can be wirelessly powered to provide electrical stimulation to the precise area. So a couple of things here. We're talking about self-assembling nanotechnology that can form brain implants that is, one, done through injection, so vaccines, and two, does not need any human intervention once it's been administered through the quote-unquote vaccine. Now, we know, Clayton, that this is happening through geoengineering. Smart dust has been happening for a very, very long time, and we know that they can administer... We're talking about self-assembling nanotechnology that can form brain implants that is, one, done through injection, so vaccines, and two, does not need any human intervention once it's been administered through the quote-unquote vaccine. Now, we know, Clayton, that this is happening through geoengineering. Smart dust has been happening for a very, very long time, and we know...
So that's what I went into a video last week on smart dust. It's nanotechnology they can deploy in certain areas, and before you know it, you hook. And I speculate that they did that with the juice too. Smart technology and shit. You remember them purple lights and everything? It's a big thing behind that.
that they can administer various types of nanotechnology that can be self-replicating, self-programming through vaccines and other medicines, and also potentially through our food. I'm actually far more concerned about the covert applications of this type of technology than I am about people going and implanting themselves. I dare say there could be quite a few people walking around with chips already inside of them without knowing it's actually there.
Wait, what is...
And hey, if that's you, and that means the Most High didn't want you, you know? That's why surgeries, off the question, pacemaker, all that shit. Hey, man, you got to keep your body on point, man. Keep your health up, because this devil, you just never know. Scripture says he's a forge of lies, a position of no value. This man got to go. Psalm 64 and 4, it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. It says, suddenly they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privately, and they say, who shall see them? Yeah. So, hey, they putting shit in people secretly, and people don't even know nothing about it. And all of a sudden, your ass walk past a fucking radio or a goddamn boombox or a sound bar, and that shit just lights up. I'm like, what the hell? So, yeah, man, this devil was doing a lot of diabolical shit. And it says, they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay. Keep going. It says, but Yahweh should shoot at them with an arrow, which is first and foremost the truth. And suddenly they should be wounded. So they should make their own tongue and fall upon themselves, and all that see them should flee away. And hey, she's exposing it. She's exposing it through the covert means, because they know that people don't want to take it. So they're going to find convert ways of getting this technology inside your body. Same thing they did with the Icky Vicky. Remember when people was protesting about going down there to get it? Then they started putting shit in the food and the air and all this other stuff. The letter, you know, it had the technology in there. So people was ingesting it through food. So they like, we going to get you one way. That's why this devil got to go, man.
Smart dust that you mentioned?
Smart dust, they've been geoengineering for a very, very long time, as you both know. Smart dust is essentially programmable dust. This is something that is not detected through the human eye. People talk about how it forms structures even on their walls. I mean, there's a lot of anecdotal information about what smart dust has achieved, but basically when you're talking about the various chemicals that they're spraying, and that also, by the way, includes graphene, Dane Wigington has done independent testing of soil and air and things of this nature and found graphene immediately present after geoengineering has occurred. When you look at what they refer to when it comes to graphene, they say that it's essentially a miracle component that they have started using in medicine. And you'd recall Albert Bourla talking about how, you know, in the future we're going to have these pills that people can take and they'll tell us whether the person's taken it, what it's doing.
Hey, you walking down a damn aisle when you in the grocery store aisle getting ready to check out, you accidentally scratch your nose and all of a sudden the transaction goes through the scanner because you got the chip in you.
Inside of their bodies. That, of course, is achieved through graphene because it is highly conductive. It is able to send a message back to them. And it's no secret. This isn't a conspiracy theory. Albert Bourla himself has spoken about their ability to do this. There's been a lot of talk back and forward as to whether they can achieve this through geoengineering or vaccines or things of this nature. Their literature absolutely says that it can, and these studies go back decades.
Yeah, here's just an example of some of the graphene oxide being manipulated using different frequencies. So this is exactly what, you know, individuals like Dane Wigington have been talking about, David Icke, the manipulation of graphene oxide that's in our bodies, these nanoparticles that can be manipulated and moved. So I think you're right. I think you're hitting on something, because when you look at just the thousands of people that have like willingly put these microchips in their hands, that's a small percentage. But so many people have this in their bodies because of, you know, geoengineering, because of what they're spraying in our skies, and because of these COVID jabs.
Yes, let me give you some really shocking information. You may know about this. A lot of people don't, actually. So I spoke to Nick Holscher a little while ago, prominent epidemiologist, after I learned about what MIT had admitted here, and asked him whether it was possible that they already covertly did this through the COVID injections. He said, definitely possible. There is some evidence to suggest.
See, it came in the same spirit. So that first one was a test. If you failed that first one, then it's a good chance you may fail the second one. The C1 now is a practice. Those of us that resisted, hey, congratulations, man. But this is getting ready to be on a whole nother level where life and death may be involved, man. So you brothers, prepare your minds.
That they did.
I'll give you the day off if you can
Slack you. Damn. Come on, Jake.
prove to me you know your finances.
Absolutely, I'll do that.
How many subscriptions are you paying for?
But there is another very, very important puzzle.
Individuals like Dane Wigington have been talking about, David Icke, the manipulation of graphene oxide that's in our bodies, these nanoparticles that can be manipulated and moved. So I think you're right. I think you're hitting on something, because when you look at just the thousands of people that have like willingly put these microchips in their hands, that's a small percentage. But so many people have this in their bodies because of, geoengineering, because of what they're spraying in our skies, and because of these COVID jabs.
Yes, let me give you some really shocking information. You may know about this. A lot of people don't, actually. So I spoke to Nick Holscher a little while ago, prominent epidemiologist, after I learned about what MIT had admitted here, and asked him whether it was possible that they already covertly did this through the COVID injections. He said, definitely possible. There is some evidence to suggest that they did. But there is another very, very important puzzle piece here, and it comes to us from Bar Ilan University, that's Barilan University in Israel, and their chief scientist, Ido Bachelet, was actually presenting presenting a TED Talk all the way back in 2013, and he basically said at that time we can implant, he said that we can implant hundreds of billions, or 1,000 billion, I think he said, nanorobots into a vaccine. He proudly held up a vaccine during that TED Talk. I've done a whole expose on this. He then said in his presentation that people can, they can ensure that they don't, quote unquote, lose control of the nanorobots after they've been injected into people. He stated that the controller is connected to the internet, and I quote, like an Xbox. He then said that the controller actually links these nanobots to the network, that they have an IP address, and that they can...
Basically, you are Android. The Internet of Things, the Internet of Bodies. I mean, it's clear at this point. This is what John saw. I went into the Greek word here, karax. It says to sharpen a point through an idea of scratching a pillar stake and rampart pales between the earth, stones, trees, right?
Strong's G 5481. Charakter.
And it says here, an instrument used for craving or engraving or carving. The mark stamped upon the instrument or wrought upon it. Mark, figure, burnt, or stamped on. The exact expression of an image, any person, thing, mark, likeness, precise, right? Charagma, a stamp and a printed mark of the mark stamped on the forehead and the right hand of the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach. Mark branded upon horses, things carved, sculptured, graven work of idolatrous images. Chip. Okay? This is what he saw. Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. The image is everything around us. AI, all that shit plays a part of it. It says, and he caused it all, both small and great. He's seeing this in a vision. Rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, and let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. So, you Israelites got a lot of explaining to do, man.
be accessed remotely. He bragged about how they can control these nanobots like with a joystick to release payloads into humans. This TED Talk happened in 2013. Now here's the kicker. In 2015, Pfizer announced their partnership with Ido Bachelet of Bar Ilan University, who already had this tech. So my point is that while I, of course, am concerned about people willingly implanting themselves, and I do believe free will plays a part in the control of the technocrats, I am very concerned about what covert operations and covert applications have on, I'm concerned about those impacts on the population. And you only need to look at something like Bill Gates' patent 060606. Yes, that's real. Everyone, please go and look.
And we just read it. There's the number of a man. Look.
Patent applications have on, I'm concerned about those impacts on the population. And you only need to look at something like Bill Gates' patent 060606. Yes, that's real. Everyone, please go and look up patent 060606. And you will see that the plan is to actually be able to mine cryptocurrency with your body's data. Well, how would they do that? They need some sort of sensors, conductors inside of us feeding information back to the data centers through quantum technology. And by the way,
it all makes sense now. The Meta, the data centers, Neuralink, Palantir, Stargate. It all makes sense now. Wow.
Bill Gates is also developing the quantum dot microneedle patch. We can talk about that. Which is real-time data being sent to the powers that be of everything that's going on inside of your body at any given time. And also, of course, your ability to bank, aka mine cryptocurrency, with your body's data, which will tell the powers that be if you are being compliant or not.
I mean, this is a transhumanist.
And that's basically Esau playing the Most High. Him having control over you. Because the Most High, he controls the human mind. Esau can control you with this technology. Basically, you're going to have to scream out. You're going to have to cry out when he lay hold on you. Because if not, the Lord going to find you guilty for adultery. All right? Spiritual adultery. Fornication.
How far do you think that they will take it? I mean, we see evidence of this every single day, of the desire to continuously break down the human elements of our lived experience, but only for us, not for the elites. And, you know, can you play out how far they want to take it?
Yeah, it's always for safety.
Yes, you only need to look to the government of Canada to see how far they want to take it. They published something,
Killing
Policy
you.
Horizons. Well,
Yeah.
right, no, but they actually published something, Policy Horizons published something called Biodigital Convergence. It's an official publication from the government of Canada, and they give you some fictional scenarios in there, but it's absolutely where they want to take it. And they say that we're going to live in a future where you wake up in the morning and the AI that is connected to you through sensors inside your body, which of course are enabled through self-assembling nanotechnology, which can happen covertly. That AI, you wake up, the AI will say, okay, you're missing this vitamin or this nutrient, and then it's going to 3D print it from your counter and give you what you need based on what the AI has assessed that you need. They say that the UN, actually, their publication, Remaking the World Towards an Age of Global Enlightenment, it's the Boston Global Forum that's published it, but they're part of the UN. They say that although we're not going to have a social credit system in like China, but you will only be rewarded with cryptocurrency if you do things that are, you know, acceptable inside the AI world society. So in other words, if you don't live the way we want you to, you will not have access to any currency, and your own body will betray you by the use of patent 0606, of course.
Unbelievable. Well, thank you.
So, reality of it is, don't get the chip. Second address, 16. And 68. It says, for behold, a burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they should take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Damn concentration camps. I have chipping centers in there. And they that consent unto them should be held in derision and reproach and trodden underfoot. So if you consent to the mark, It's your ass. With that, all praises and glory honor is due to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Lord's will you edify. To the next lesson. Shalom.
Thank you so much, Marie. We really appreciate it. And I guess I'm heartened in one way. It's we're not getting, the government is not forcing people to get these implants, but they're doing it in far more nefarious ways, which is spraying our skies with it so that they're able to manipulate us through 6G technology and otherwise. So they don't need us. They don't need us to go down to the clinic and get a microchip in our hand. Yeah.
There's part of me that's also anxietized about having old technology. Like, if you're going to give me, how fast technology
The latest.
evolves, like, I don't want an iPhone 5 inside. How are we going to make sure?
Yeah, I'd be like, Natalie, she's got an iPhone 3GS in her hand.
Yeah, I mean, how are they going to make sure they continuously upgrade me if I do become a transhumanist experiment?
Oh my God.
I will just end on this. I truly do believe, and I believe that the quote-unquote elites believe that our free will actually does matter. And although they do the revelation of the method and they tell us what they're doing beforehand, and if we don't, push back, then that's sort of our consent. I don't think that if you are a human being that is aware of this information, which is why it's so important that you're both covering this, if you're someone that's aware of this and internally your free will says, I'm not participating, for them and their occult mad rituals, that actually means something. And so the more informed that we are, the better off we are, and the more we can not consent to this madness.
Maria Z.